Give them nothing, but take from them everything.
And welcome back to the Metal Hand of God podcast. I am your host, Wayne, and with me, as always, is that gentleman over there.
I am the Rum Guy. How you doing, everybody?
They're not going to answer you, but up there.
No, they're answering me right now. They're screaming in my head. Hey,
we're doing so
awesome.
well, yay!
Yeah.
Today we have an incredible guest, Mr. Russ Rankin from Good Riddance, and there's a bunch of bands actually, as joining us. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well, gentlemen. Thanks for having me on.
No, dude, thank you for doing this, taking the time. And about time we finally got you on. We've actually tried to do this 2 or 3 times, and I apologize for all that mess that was going on. The first time we actually tried to have you on, my board decided to explode on me. So that was nice.
Did. Damn near caught his house on fire. That was nice.
So that was good. That was really nice. So, man, how are you? Like, what's been going on, man? How's the, as Rum would say, how's the weather out there?
We were just talking about that.
Really? You were?
Yeah.
It's hot.
It's unseasonably hot, but that's kind of how it's going.
Dude.
Wow. I'm curious what's going on in the music world for you right now, because your track record is amazing. You've put out a lot of great material. What do you got going on right now?
Well, currently, my band Good Riddance, a couple weeks ago, we played Punk in the Park in Tempe, Arizona. It was our first like gig in front of live audience in over a year. So that was pretty cool. Like, we played with H2O and Face to Face and Strung Out and Pennywise, and
wow.
And it was pretty cool to see, like, just to see everybody again. And we were all kind of in the same boat. We were all just anxious and just itching to get up there and play.
Did it seem weird? I mean,
it did and it didn't. Like, as soon as we were a couple songs in, it was just a normal show. I mean, it was outside and it was like 100 degrees, but we were like, it was shaded, like it was like an amphitheater type of thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it was really cool, and there was a lot of people that knew our songs, and it just felt good to shake off the rust and get up there again. And it was cool to see friends of ours that we haven't seen in a long time, because no one's touring. So normally we run into each other throughout the year at some point, a festival or a club show or something. And so it was cool. And then I'm recording my second solo album next month.
Wow.
So I'm wrapping up, like I'm just demoing really hard and working on songs and fine tuning stuff before I go into the studio for that.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah,
it is. What direction is? Can you tell us anything about it? I mean, what the direction of the album? Is there a? I hate to even use the word theme to it. Is there some sort of picture?
Well, my first solo album was like it's basically kind of half and half, like introspective, relationship, heartbreak, and then half politics.
Okay.
Nice.
So it's kind of the same with this go around. I'm a little bit more prepared. Like, the last time I had no idea what I was doing. I had written all these songs on my acoustic guitar and was just learning how to play acoustic guitar properly, like the right way. Mm-hmm. And I went down to the studio with my friend Paul. And he engineered it and produced it, and we both had a good time. Like, we were both like, well, neither of us has ever done anything like this before. Let's see what happens. And so we kind of made it up as we went, and it ended up being a really cool experience. And the album turned out way better than I thought it would, and so cool. I was pretty stoked. But since then, I think I've come a long way in, like, my guitar playing and like crafting material for that sort of style.
What made you go that direction? What prompted the idea of going straight into a guitar? It
was a couple things. Like, I write a lot of the Good Riddance material on guitar, so I play guitar all the time. And then I was just really, really into Billy Bragg. I don't know if you guys know who that is. He's a British guy, I just love the stripped down kind of. It's like folky, but it's really political and like really heavy lyrically, and I got into that, and then my friend Tony Sly from No Use for a Name had already been doing it for a while. He'd struck out on his own and just had released a solo album and was playing shows, and he hit me up and wanted me to go up to Canada and open for him, but I'd never really done it. And I was like, "Do you want to hear any songs or anything?" He's like, "No, I trust you." So I went up there and like played some shows with him and kind of watched what he was doing and took some pointers, and it was just fun. It's such a different vibe, and the cool thing about it was like he called me to do the shows, and my first thought is, well, okay, I got to call my band, and then I was like, wait a minute, I don't got to call anybody.
It's just me.
I could just go. Yeah. So it was cool. We had a good time, and so I played a bunch of shows since then. I've been to Europe a couple times, and went to Costa Rica to play a festival.
Nice. Wow, dude.
Awesome. I love Costa Rica.
I bet you that was cool.
Yeah. So I just play whenever I can, and I haven't really buckled down too hard on it.
Yeah.
Like, I had a booking agent, and then he dropped me because I kept forgetting to get paid at shows. Like, because I don't ever deal with that in my band. So I was playing these solo shows and like, thanks guys, and I was taking off, and I never didn't get paid. And the booking agents don't like it when you do that.
They're like, wait a minute, dude. You know, I get a piece of this. What are you doing? Yeah.
I mean, it's totally my fault. It's so stupid. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. So, but it's fun, and this label in Europe is paying for the recording and is going to put it out.
Very cool.
And then I'm going to do also in the same session, I'm going to record some songs for my friend Al up in Toronto, who has a label called Cursed Blessings that's doing really well. And
nice.
And so I'm going to do an EP with his label.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm just looking forward to it. I'm right now. I'm just in the midst of like demoing and like sifting through and writing and rewriting lyrics and working with my producer I've got a Dropbox folder with all the demos up there, and so hopefully he's like got some ideas about what to do.
That's awesome.
With those topics that you were talking about, with the you're doing it on the guitar, and you've got that more. It's got kind of that thought vibe of like when you're talking politics and state of the world and that whole thing. It pulls. Maybe I'm wrong. Is it that thought of maybe pulling those, because times really haven't changed really. I mean, they've changed, but they haven't changed.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you're talking like the strife from the 60s, the stuff from the 80s with the political unrest and, in Europe and especially Ireland and stuff like that. And, there's so much now unrest here in the US and it just pops up, and there's so much to write about. Yeah. And so much to see and so much to express opinion upon. Is that maybe was that I'm probably reading too much into it. Was that something that was in your mind at any time? Like, you're picking up that guitar and you're putting out the story, of what's in your head and what you're seeing. Is that maybe something you thought of?
I think yeah, definitely because the political aspect was what really attracted me to punk all those years ago in the first place. And that really has always been my North Star. Like I was really attracted to the more political bands, and was in a lot of ways radicalized. I became the person that I am, and the political beliefs that I have because of the bands and music that I listened to growing up and still do. And so that's always been important for me. Like, yeah, it sounds cool and it's fun to listen to music, but like I like it when it's a vehicle for some sort of like conscious thought.
Yeah, when it has a meaning behind. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Wayne, you were much heavier into that punk scene.
I was. I was a hardcore kid growing up. I
probably could have fit in just great in the punk scene because I was just the weird guy. Just I'm going to set this on fire. That was me, But Wayne, you were really
I was like a straight edge hardcore kid back in the day, like big into like Youth of Today and Sick of It All and all those guys and from the New York side and that's what drew me into like that music was those guys were just so like, oh man, I don't know, dude. Like,
they were speaking a message.
Yeah. Like their messages were fantastic. You know, I was like, this is so cool. You know, I was straight edge probably till I was in my 30s. You know, and I don't know why I stopped. I just did. You know,
got that walker.
Yeah, I got the walker. That's right. Yeah, but no, man, like I love that stuff. Like I still to this day, I still listen to all those guys. Like Youth of Today, I'll listen to on a daily basis, and like one of the coolest things about having our show was to be able to reach out to people like yourself, and I got to, you know, communicate back and forth with Ray from Youth of Today. You know, I was like, holy shit, I'm talking to this dude who's like, you know, has inspired the world, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like Ray has done a lot in the world of, you know, like doing not just music, but, you know, he's a yogi now and he does all this stuff with all these people, and it's really cool. Hopefully one day we'll get him on the show when he's not so busy, but whatever, you know. But back to the music is like that stuff had a message, and it really, you know, made me think about things, like, because I was listening to stuff like Iron Maiden and Metallica and stuff as a young kid. I was like the first, like, true, my own, like when I was building my own style of music, like what I wanted to listen to, I was listening to those guys at first. And then a friend of mine who was from New York, he said, you got to hear these guys, man. These guys are from New York. You should check them out. And that was it.
Then you discovered Hanson, which just blew your mind.
Did, and they were just incredible. Their message of Bop just was like the best thing in the world. But no, man, and like I just there was something about them, man. Like the positive message, the music was so positive that it was great. People don't usually equate, and I'm saying this. I mean,
at least the people I have talked to, a lot of times people don't equate punk music that have a strong message, you know, that isn't, because a lot of in people's mind the message stops at like the anarchy thing, right? But it goes past that. There's a reason for it. There was a movement to it that was to redesign society's view of the world, you know, and if anything, that still needs to go on today, and I think you're definitely doing it, man.
Yeah, I've always wanted to. I mean, that's always been attractive to me, and then my goal in my band as well has always been to sort of address things, but in a little more cryptic way, and at least in a way that's a little more open to interpretation and a little more timeless. Because, like, I love the Dead Kennedys; they're one of my favorite bands, but like their songs are about such specific events in time that they become dated.
Yes,
right. And so I think I'd rather sing about the phenomenon or the underpinnings or what caused what, like, people are like, oh yeah, Trump, like, you probably got a lot to write about. It's like, you know what, I don't want to write about that guy, but I'd like to write about the systemic ills which would bring about the ascension of somebody like that. Yeah, I would like to write about that, because that's, to me, the bigger problem.
You don't want to date your songs either. I mean, like you said, like
it's low hanging fruit, right? Like, I want to try to challenge myself to write basically the same kind of like things, but in new ways, and add some nuance. And, you know, I aspire to be a better songwriter than I am, and so I'm always trying to get better at it. And I was pretty fortunate because several months ago, the guy who I consider to be he's my favorite songwriter in the whole world did a Zoom like masterclass kind of thing on songwriting, and I signed up and paid the money, and there was about 180 people on there for about 2 hours, and I was just soaking it all up. I took notes, and it was like really, really cool to see this guy walk through his process.
That's so cool.
And really kind of think about the craft of songwriting, especially with me doing the solo stuff where it's more relevant.
Right.
And so it was really like, I'm writing this new album and I'm totally thinking about the stuff that he said and looking at my songs a different way. So anything I can do to get like a a new take on it, I'm down to do it.
Man,
well, speaking of process,
wait, hold on a second. I just want to say one thing. You posted something today on on Instagram. It made me fucking laugh out loud, buddy. And it's so true. It's so true in so many ways. It's that you said that you fancy yourself some kind of songwriter until you hear "Fast Car" by Tracy Chapman, and then it's time to go check out if Taco Bell needs any help. Dude, you were so right, man. Like me and Rum have been in different bands throughout the years, and writing and stuff. You think, this is great, you know, and then you hear something that's like truly great, and you're going, well, fuck, I guess I better tear that one up, you know. Or my drummer at the time, we'd go see like these bands play, and like he'll look at them and go, well, I'm gonna go home and burn my drums now, you know, like it's that kind of stuff. But I completely agree with you.
When it comes to songs, though, for me, it was always you can. I'm the type of person. I'm just speaking for me now, that I have to analyze each instrument, each piece, and I actually pay attention to lyrics. Now, a lot of people don't pay attention to lyrics, and I find that lyrics in a song are as important. A lot of people don't. They're like, yeah, it's just hard. I'm going to do it. It's like, but no, I need to know what this song is
I think
about.
Lyrics are more important, to be honest with you.
And if there's no message to great music, I mean, you can have great instrumentals. You can have a phenomenal guitar. You can have amazing drum action. You can do a bassist that will just knock your socks off. But if the words, without the lyrics, there's, you know, I might as well just be listening to a really good instrumental, you know, and then make my own, you know, determination of what this mood is coming across me. But lyrics are very important, you know, because it helps tell the story. It helps say what you're saying, you know, and obviously it's words. But I mean, there's a lot of great musicians out there that I know of that that have horrible lyrics. And they're like, what? I'm like, what are you doing? It seems like such a waste of a song with nothing up front. You know, you're throwing genius at me and then deliver me a turd, you know, because I mean, it's just crap words, you know, and there's nothing to them. But I mean, what is your process? Because your messages in the songs that I've heard are you're saying something, whether it be with the band or you know, whatever. But I mean, you're saying something. I mean, what is your process? Where do you go when you decide, hey, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to pick up this guitar, and I'm going to write something? I mean, where do you get, you know, do you have a starting point, or do you just wing it?
I think that most of the time I'm just banging around on the guitar, and I stumble onto like a progression or a riff, and then normally I like, oh, that sounds cool. And then in my head, I'm thinking already, is this a chorus or is this a verse? And then I'll start like humming or singing some gibberish over it to try to find a melody that's cool.
Do you ever just key on a word? Like that's how I used to do. I would just I'd be going through lyrics and stuff, and I
don't. I usually don't. But then that songwriting class that I would join, like that Zoom thing, like, it was really cool, like watching him build a song out of nothing. And he would do this thing where like he would take words, like 2 words that rhyme, and like have a bunch of sets of those. Then you can sort of build verses around those. And then I write a lot for rhythm, like how does a word fit rhythmically in the structure of a song, and how does it fit sonically, because it's almost its own instrument. And some words just sound better at a certain spot than another word. And so I'm always thinking about that, and I'm trying to use words that are not just like, as I'm trying to be as ungeneric as possible with words that I use. So I use a thesaurus a little bit. I try to challenge myself, or I think about, I'll reread lyrics and look for words that are common that I could change, but still that maybe still have the same, like find another word that has the same rhythmic drop, like it's got 2 beats or whatever. But basically, I just grab the guitar and I just bang on it, and I eventually, like, stuff comes out. Like I'll I'll play something 4 times and then go, okay, where does it go next? And then it's got to go to another part.
Yeah.
And,
Do you find yourself needing to be in a specific mood? I mean, or does like an inspiration?
I know I
does
do.
It drop on you?
it helps, but also like because I don't think I'm like, I'm not really a great songwriter, so I'm like I still have a pretty blue collar approach. Like when I'm trying to be writing either for this thing or for the band, like if we are quote unquote writing a new album, like I am making myself pick up the guitar for 2 hours a day, whether I feel anything or not. Like I make myself do it.
Okay.
And because I don't want to be a slacker, and I don't want to just wait for like inspiration to get slid under my door magically
right.
in the ninth inning. Like I want to be able to work at it and like slug away at it and like collect things and have stuff to work with. So I just make myself do it. And some days it's like wow, like stuff just pops up and like it's flowing and I'm super inspired. And some days it's just 2 hours of plunk and like nothing.
Right. You feel like it's a lot of work.
But I make myself do it every day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's dedication. That is an honorable thing right there.
And there's a thing though. You see, did you teach yourself guitar or did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You see, that's the problem I have is I'm not a very good guitar player at all. And I have to wait for the guys that I'm working with to finish writing something for me to sit down and kind of work with, because I don't write my own music. But and what I usually do is it takes a while for me to write, like lyrically. And what I'll do is I have to listen to what they've given me, and then I have to feel work out a melody and things like that, and then come up with subject matter. That's kind of where I start with. I don't know.
It's interesting because everybody has a different, starting point.
Yeah.
I look at the musical process as a circle. You can put a dot anywhere in that circle, and that's going to be maybe where you start.
Where someone starts, yeah.
Or somebody, and it's just you run through the radius of the music, collecting as you go until you wind up in that full circle, and you've got it all filled in, and it's a good song. No, I don't know. It's just weird, how everybody's process is different.
Right.
Well, I was talking to I have a coworker who's a really good guitar player. Like he legit knows how to play guitar, and he could do all kinds of scales and solos and blues and stuff like that. And like he's like a bazillion times better of a guitar player than me, but he has no idea how to write a song. Like he always asks me like, how do you do it? And I'm always like, how do you not do it? Like, how do you just how do you play that riff 4 times and not want to do something different? Like I just don't get it. Like it's something I think innately people can, like, it just sort of happens for me. Like I taught myself to play guitar because I was in the same boat as you. Like I was in a band and I'm waiting for a dude to write some guitar parts so I could try to write a vocal melody over it. And finally I was like, fuck, I'm sick of waiting. Or like, I don't like that riff. It sounds like too much like AC/DC. Like I'm going to write something else. And so I taught myself how to play guitar, just the normal Johnny Ramone way. And then later I taught myself how to play acoustic guitar with like the open chords, the full chords.
Nice.
And that was really hard. But I was like looking on YouTube and like looking at diagrams and like bending my fingers ways that I didn't think they should bend. And like now I can sort of do it. And so it's like, if you can't, like, if you want to do it, you can. It just takes some motivation. Time. But like for me, songwriting has always been a sort of it just happens for me. It doesn't happen like magically. Like I've heard stories about like Dolly Parton wrote Jolene in 1 hour, like just crazy stuff like that.
That's so unbelievable.
That doesn't happen to me.
No.
But like, I generally can be pretty prolific because when I get a guitar in my hands, like stuff gets created. Like there's something's going to happen. I'm going to come up with a cool melody, and then I'm going to want to fill it in with words. Or I'll be like thinking about a line. Like I finished a song today, and like the chorus, basically the entire chorus appeared in my head, like word for word, and I just had to find a melody around it.
See, that's awesome. That's cool.
So like sometimes it's you hear a melody, like one of our songs, a really popular Good Riddance song. I was out in the water surfing, and this was way back in the day, like, and a melody came into my head, and I couldn't get rid of it, and I really liked it, and I was like, fuck, I got to get out of the water, like I'm gonna forget this, and so I paddled in, and I mean I should have, I mean it was good, it was firing, I wanted to stay out, but I paddled in and got in my car and went home as quick as I could, singing it the whole way because I was gonna forget it, because there was no voice memos, there was no cell phones, there was nothing like that. Sure. Got home, like, you know, got my wetsuit off and like grabbed my guitar, and that song ended up that ended up being the chorus of a popular song of ours. So it's weird when inspiration strikes and like what you got to do to sort of preserve it.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because especially like the older I get, like those things come and they go, and you're like, fuck.
dude, yeah. Believe me, dude, I completely understand. Like I'll be like, it's funny because I work with this 18-year-old kid, and like every now and then he'll see me go into the other room and he's like, what are you writing down? It's like, dude, I got these 3 or 4 words that sound really cool. I'm going to put them down because I think I can use them for a song or something, you know? And he goes, well, why don't you just use your phone? Or, you know, I'm like, I'm old, man. We write things down.
No, it's just, no, you gotta have a paper copy because the digital copies can get lost just as easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or
well, I use the phone a lot, but there wasn't always that technology. So
right, yeah.
I mean, I can remember like always having my notepad with me, and I would be driving, and I would pull over to the side of the road and like write something down, you know, and then get back on the freeway. And so like a lot of times, like stuff like the craziest stuff will get written that way, like just in that moment, like you got it, like when inspiration strikes, right. You got to not fuck with it.
I was gonna say, when the lightning hits you, dude, you got to go.
Yeah.
And you need to tell your coworker that you know, he has to take a page out of the Yoda book. There is no can't, only do.
Well, hey, no,
he just likes to noodle and play scales and blues, and he doesn't. But he's like, it's so weird because I don't know how a guy could sit there for hours and do that and not be over it. Like, so it's everybody's different, right? Everybody's different.
That's true. I mean, and that's what makes it amazing. You know, that's, you know, what makes. I mean, that's what makes legendary musicians. It really does. Mm-hmm. You know, the processes, the experiments, the truths that you.
But the guy that did this class that I did, like, he writes songs that just make me want to quit music. Like I just don't, like, it's just ridiculous. It's like,
I hate you.
And it sucks because I love listening to his band, and I hate it at the same time because it's just so defeating. Because they'll never ever write a song half as good as that.
Dude,
it's a guy up an escalator.
Dude, I completely understand, man. It's crazy. Like the newer stuff that me and the guys are working on is more along the lines of kind of like a Mr. Bungle instead of like a hardcore thing. We're going a little bit more avant-garde because we're all like, look, dude, I'm getting kind of old. I'm not gonna be fucking screaming on the microphone for too much longer. So let's try something different. So we're all gonna do a little bit different stuff, and then
the stuff that you guys are doing sounds good.
Well, thank you. And we're just trying to figure out, you know, what we're gonna do with it. And then it's like we look for our influences, and like my influences are, you know, like I told you, it's like I come from the youth of today and Iron Maiden, and then I'm a huge Mike Patton fan, so it's like that's the way it goes. And then the other guys, some guys are like industrial fans, and so our music is kind of really eclectic right now. But doing the, you know, just sitting down and trying to put out the music with some other people, it's been a chore through the pandemic because none of us could actually meet together. We've all been doing this virtually, and like, oh, do you like this? Do you like that? Have you been in that situation through all the pandemic? You know, like, were you dealing with someone else writing also with you, and you kind of going, okay, well, do you like that, you know, and just shooting riffs back and forth to each other?
No, I haven't. I do the bulk of the writing for my band, and
okay.
during the pandemic I did do some demoing, like just on my own at home with Logic Pro, like getting some like song ideas together. And then this guy that had the label like several months ago, he just was like, kept saying, he's like, I love your first solo album. I want to do an album. And finally I was like, okay,
let's do it.
I relented, and I started to really write that stuff. So, and that's obviously not really collaborative, except for my producer, who, you know, he's listening to it all, and he's going to be in charge of what else goes on there. Like it's not just dude and the guitar for 12 songs. So he's thinking about all that, but that's basically like I get the rough demos up into Dropbox and share it with him, and then he's going to do what he's going to do. So, but I do know, although no, actually I take that back. Like I did some vocals for like punk rock karaoke.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
And swear, where like I recorded my vocals on video and also like the vocal recording.
Yeah, on the audio.
And sent those files in, and then somebody arranges them all, and then they share the clip, and it looks like we're all playing together because we're all in the screen together.
Right.
We're all different places. So that was really cool to be a part of. I did, probably 3 or 4 of those type of things.
Yeah, I watched a few of those. Those are pretty awesome. Those are pretty awesome.
Well, now that the world is, well, I can't say the world.
It's we're slowly getting back together.
But I mean, in the U.S. anyway, things seem to be progressing in a positive light. The festivals are definitely coming back into play. Bands are coming back on the scene. I mean, what is there something that you're planning on doing before the end of the year, festival wise, or you have?
Yeah, we're playing. Good Riddance is going to play Punk Rock Bowling in September.
Nice.
Cool.
In Las Vegas, and then we're going to play Fest in Gainesville, Florida in October, which I think is over Halloween weekend. And I think that's it for us for 2021. And then we had a pretty good sizable European / Scandinavian run set up for 2020 that got canned. And so it got canned again this year because it's just cutting it too close. So it's going to be next year in 2022. We're going to finally get back to.
Well, a lot of Europe's closing back down again too. So.
Yeah. So hopefully that it still happens, but it would be like this time next year, and so hopefully that happens.
One of our friends, he's also like a co-host on the show, and he does the MHOG Europe. Is our friend Mart. He's actually in a black metal band out there, and he posted the other day, he goes, they were all excited because they got to go practice together for like the first time in over a year. And then he posted like a week later, well, we're going back into, stasis basically. We're not, we're all going to be locked down again for another God knows how long. So there goes all the live shows again. He was
bummer.
Yeah, dude, he was just so distraught. He's like, fuck, man, this sucks. So yeah, they're back to being slowly closing back down again. So it sucks.
As many ups as there's twice as many downs. It seems like in a lot of places anymore. What are your thoughts on it, man?
Yeah, I was going to ask how your area was doing too.
Well, today the 15th, California officially quote unquote opened back up.
Nice.
Oh wow.
So basically there's no limits anymore for indoor dining or anything.
Great.
There's most businesses will let you, like, masks are optional if you're vaccinated.
Cool.
And there's probably a bunch of other stuff that I'm forgetting that's different, but it's been trending that way. Like in my area, like I have a day job. I work for Apple, and so it's been getting busier and busier and like kind of more like normal. Cool. So Santa Clara County is where I work, and the numbers have just been dropping so fast. So it almost seems like it's normal. Like people are out and about.
Yeah,
everybody's got masks on still, but everybody's out and about. Like there's just crowds of people, and which is good to see. Like, and it doesn't feel unsafe. It doesn't feel sketchy. And
yeah.
And now with because my bass player, he bought a restaurant before COVID, and so he's been struggling.
Fuck.
He's been pulling it off, and but like now he can like seat everybody. He's got inside dining again, so a lot of the restaurants are going to be really stoked because now they can seat their whole capacity.
Right. They can actually work.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they can. Yeah. So it's today. Today was supposed to. Today, yeah, today was the day for California.
That's fantastic. Yeah, we opened up about a month ago, like Louisiana in the New Orleans area. We kind of the actual city of New Orleans has not opened up, but like the outskirts and everything else has. The actual city is they were still a little iffy on stuff, so they kind of kept the mask mandate up, I think, until last week or so, and they finally let up on that. But we officially have been. I do booking for like the podcast does booking for a little venue out here, and we had our official like real big show there the other night, and it was like 100 people crammed in this little bitty building. And it didn't feel like I was going to die. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't feel, I wasn't worried about getting anything or, anything like that. Everybody was cool. And it was really nice to finally be in a crowd again and like,
I mean, a lot of it, though,
celebrate
a lot of people
music.
never made it through the pandemic, though.
Yeah.
A lot of the businesses, they're shut down. They're closed. I feel bad for those owners. Your bass player, very lucky. He was able to keep it going.
Yeah, he was smart. Like he was smart, and he did the right thing, and scaled his thing down really quick. And also, he had the PPP loan that helped.
Right? Yeah, that helps.
But like, yeah, I was gonna say, like last night we were in Las Vegas to watch because my bass player married a girl from Montreal a long time ago. Who we met on tour, and so she's a huge Montreal Canadiens fan, obviously. I don't know if you guys do hockey here.
Yeah, it's not her fault.
So anyway, they're playing the Las Vegas Golden Knights, and the first game of their playoff round was last night. So
nice.
we all flew to Las Vegas because it's only like an hour flight,
right.
And then stayed there and went to the game.
Cool.
And it was the arena was like pretty much packed.
That's awesome.
And I think I might have been the only dude in there wearing a mask. So Nevada is up and running. Like
that's cool. That's really cool.
So yeah, it was crazy. Like, and I hadn't been in a live hockey game since in over a year. Dude, so it was really fun. It was fun to go to that.
You know what, man? I have never been to a live hockey game. How about that? Like,
I love hockey.
Louisiana does not have a hockey team. Probably never will have a hockey team. We had one when I was a little kid.
No, they do. It's like East Coast Hockey League.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it was a little.
You don't have an NHL team, though.
Yeah, we don't have an
NHL.
NHL.
No NHL.
No.
Yeah.
And so it was just like I've never actually got to see a actual game. I always wanted to.
I was born and raised in Pittsburgh, so it's mandatory. I have to like.
Yeah.
It's mandatory.
Everything if you come from Pittsburgh, it's always mandatory. You've got to love to hate the Pirates. You have to swear at the Steelers, but that's the only team you like, and then the Penguins. That's just you have to. You have to have a jersey for everything. But and I'm not a huge sports guy, but I do like my hockey because I think it's an honest game.
It's a cool game. I really enjoy watching the games on TV. You know what I'm saying? But I think I would enjoy actually going to one because I've never had the opportunity to see one.
You and your son would love to go to a hockey game. I know you guys would.
Yeah.
That's so cool, though. It's North Carolina finally dropped their mask mandate, so it's been like, we have a business here in North Carolina, and it's just all of a sudden, as soon as they found out that North Carolina dropped everything, it's just they flooded it. There's tourists from everywhere.
What city are you in North Carolina?
I am on just south of Wilmington, North Carolina, and just north of Myrtle Beach. So just across the border.
What's the name of the city?
I'm on a small island called Holden Beach.
Holden Beach?
Holden Beach, yeah. It's south of Hatteras. It's a barrier island. And of course, you're on an island. You've got beaches. You've got lots of surfing and everything else. So there's people everywhere. It's like 4th of July every day here right now. It's just craziness. I wake up, go to work. We're there at 4 a.m. My wife's there at 3. She's baking. I'm getting stuff ready, and then all of a sudden it's just crazy town. there's people everywhere, and they're all lining up at the door. Like, this is awesome, love it. Don't get me wrong, but goddamn.
Yeah, I know a lot of places in the country have been that way for a while. I just California, we've all been like when we went to play that show just a couple weeks ago in Arizona, and I saw all these people without masks, and I was like, whoa, because in California we're still all masked up. We're staying away from each other.
Yeah,
sure.
And in Arizona, it was like looked like COVID never happened. So
I've got a collection of masks, like I'm sure you have.
Same here.
Different ones. I've got boxes of disposables. I've got fucking bedazzled things that people have given. I don't know. I've got masks for everything.
Well, we even have our own MHOG podcast masks that you can get.
We have our collectible, which are on sale right now at T Public.
That's right. There you go. Shameless plug. Man, so I read that you did a song for a Johnny Cash tribute record.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah, I've never. I didn't know you did that, dude. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. I was just starting to get introduced to the acoustic guitar, and I didn't think it was going to be that big a deal because it didn't look. If you watch Johnny Cash, it doesn't look like he's doing it really that much. And then they were like, "What song do I do?" I was like, "Oh, I'll do Walk the Line. I like that song," thinking it was going to be a walk in the park. And then I started to study it, and I was like, "Whoa, it changes key like 6 times." It's like, really strange. It's
what
like
am I getting myself into?
Yeah. I was like, "Whoa, this is going to require like a higher degree of study than I initially thought I'd signed up for," but it worked out.
Songwriter Johnny Cash. He's definitely. I always appreciated his songwriting abilities.
I have a good Johnny Cash story for you. It's just hysterical. Like it blows me away every time my father-in-law tells me this story. He tells me once in a while the same thing, but so my father-in-law is from the same area that Johnny Cash is from, okay? Which is like Tennessee. And as a little boy, my father-in-law dated Johnny Cash's daughter. And, and it was from the first marriage, not from the famous singer lady. Not June Carter, yeah. And the crazy thing about the story is he tells me, he says, yeah, I'll never forget the first date I went on with the girl. I said, okay, well, what happened? He goes, well, Johnny Cash pulls up to the front of my house in his big, Cadillac. Him and his wife are in the front seat, me and the daughter in the back, and they brought us to a drive-in movie, and we watched the movie while Johnny Cash sat in the front seat. I was like, dude, that is the coolest shit I've ever heard. Like, you went on the date. What happened? He goes, well, nothing. I'm married. I married your wife's mom now. So that was it. I was just like, dude, that is a cool ass story that you actually dated Johnny Cash's daughter, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like that was just bizarre. He's like, yeah. He was just Mr. Cash to me, at that time.
Daughter's name I think was Cash, like Kathy.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's
the other one was Roseanne Cash. She had a musical career for herself for a long time.
While,
she had like one hit song, and I think the name of her song was "Flat Top Box," and that came out like in the '80s.
Yeah,
it was a while ago, but all in all, she was a good songwriter too. That's just a really cool story. You got the
Yeah.
Did you ever date anybody famous, Wayne?
Me? No, not even close. I mean,
I almost dated somebody famous.
One of my best friends growing up is on Gold Rush now. I mean, that's the closest I got to being famous. Like,
but you didn't date him.
No.
That's cool.
But I've probably seen his balls.
That's so bizarre.
Well, dude, he lived at my house.
Yeah, I almost dated. Well, I didn't almost date. It was even close to a date. I accidentally got paired up with somebody famous when I was younger at a roller rink.
But she wasn't.
Who was visiting her cousin who lived in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Nice. Which was?
Gwen Stefani.
That's weird.
Tell me about it. Yeah, she didn't have blonde hair when I knew her.
That's funny. And now she's with what's his name?
Yeah.
Blake Shelton.
Blake Shelton, there it is. Yeah, I skated with it. She wasn't very into me. I offered her, a fun dip and
well, she's just a girl, dude.
Yeah, she's just a girl. Yeah, it's a thing. That was.
Oh, Russ, do you do?
You guys are rolling. You don't even need me.
No, man, no. Sorry about that, man. That's just what happens. This is
we went on a tangent.
Yeah. I do you have any? This is will be an odd question. I asked most of our guests. Do you have any hobbies besides besides playing music, things that you like to do other than work and play music, of course? Do you collect stuff? Do you fucking things like that?
You're an outdoor guy.
No, I work. I mean, I've worked in hockey since 2007. I'm a scout, so I work in the I work in the Western Hockey League. I work for the Kootenay Ice, and then I work for the Tri-City Americans. So I basically, that last year aside, because all the rinks were shut down, but I basically go around California watching Bantam AAA hockey and doing reports and.
Dude, that's awesome.
Working for a hockey team, and then I play in a men's league here. Well, we haven't played in over a year, but that's probably going to start up again.
Right. That's
you're
cool,
living
man.
A dream then.
Yeah.
I'd love to work in the NHL. That's the dream. But it's fun to be working in hockey, and the Western Hockey League is a great league. It's a pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good situation.
That's phenomenal, dude. That's so freaking cool. Did you, when you young kid, always fascinated with hockey, or was it something you grew into?
Well, this is going to date me. I'm old, but I got introduced to it in 1980. The Miracle on Ice, that whole thing.
Oh, nice, yeah.
So I remember watching, with my parents, the Winter Olympics, and I'd never seen hockey before, and I just thought it was. I thought it was colorful and violent and fast, and I thought it was those three things together made it really cool to me.
Which threw you into the punk scene.
Yeah, I think that they go together.
Yeah,
not everybody does, but I think they do. But
I think just in those three descriptions, three words, you just nailed the other thing.
Yeah.
Man, one of the first things that I have ever experienced hockey was the Sega Genesis.
Really?
The hockey game on the Sega Genesis. Dude, that was the greatest hockey game ever.
No.
Yes.
No. It was horrible.
No, it was so good. That's how I learned all the guys' names.
Hobby Bullen.
Jeremy Roenick and all those people.
Peter Satan. Yeah, I remember the game.
But that's it. I don't collect anything. I don't really do anything cool. I work for Apple. I play music when I can, and then during the hockey season, I'm usually driving down to Southern California, which is like a 6-hour drive, at least 4 or 5 times a year, to go to tournaments and stuff like that.
Not cool, man. I think you nailed cool as soon as you.
I was gonna say, this dude just said, "I don't do anything cool. I just go play festivals
I just
and
play awesome music."
Come on, man.
Work for Apple.
Well, you guys were asking if I had some rad hobby, and I guess.
Oh, you surf, man. You still surf?
Yeah.
There you go. That's a good one.
That's a pretty rad hobby. I wish I could surf.
Yeah.
I can stand up on the board for a little bit. Fucking big wave comes over, gonna knock my ass off. I'll be the one guy that finds a goddamn megalodon. I get on a goddamn board.
No, man. The closest I come to surfing is skateboarding, so that's it.
That's still badass, dude.
Oh, man.
Last time I was on wheels, I was with Gwen Stefani.
There you go. You stupid fuck.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, man.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to... When's the new album drop?
My solo album's supposed to be out in the fall.
Sweet.
Okay. So cool.
Yeah, I'll post it on social media and stuff.
Nice, dude. One last thing, man, before we get out of here. Well, two last things, actually. One, would you tell these people how they can find your music and everything? Give them some URLs and things to locate you and do things like that.
Well, my first solo album is called Farewell Catalonia, and it's on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, whatever, any place. any place that you would normally find music. It's pretty easy to find. And it's my name. That's Russ Rankin. Farewell, Catalonia.
Sweet. And the other thing is how long? I'm going to ask you about the vegan stuff. Is how long have you been vegan?
Since 1993.
93? Wow. That's awesome, man.
Awesome.
Look, that's we had another former guest and friend of ours on the show. He's a hip hop artist named his name was Big Smo, and he kind of cut that out and he calls him Smo now because he went vegan and he had dropped so much weight, dude. He's like small little guy. He feels better. You know, it's really cool. More to power to you guys. Like, I've tried, I still try, and it's tough. It's really tough, man.
Wayne, there's no try, only do.
Yeah, I know.
It's not that hard, dude.
Yeah, just switch it.
It was hard in 1993, and I still did it. It's a million times easier now.
Well, yeah, now there's more options. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's nothing to replace a steak with a nice portobello mushroom or
yeah. I've done that plenty of times.
Or tofu, or I love the tofu. It's good stuff.
Beyond Burgers are the best thing ever.
Really?
Beyond Burgers are awesome.
Oh yeah.
Like, I guess I don't know.
I think so.
I think well, no, it's not. It's talking to people like you and like Smo that would make me more want to change because you guys know what's the good stuff and what's not. And here I am going to try something and it's not
fire, dude. You just go out, you find
something.
But
if you can type how do I go vegan into your computer, then you won't have to try anymore. It'll just tell you all the stuff to do.
Okay.
And now you can go, like when I went vegan, you had to go to like the weird hippie co-op store,
right.
the ones in your whole town. And now there's Whole Foods. Now dude, I can go down to like, I don't know what the chain grocery stores are where you guys live, but right. Here it's like Safeway is a chain grocery store.
Yeah.
You
can get everything vegan there. Vegan cheese, every kind of nut milk, every kind of like fake sausage, burgers, chicken patties, nuggets, everything. Like at the chain grocery store.
Yeah.
Yeah, the world has changed when it comes to that.
It has.
There are many more options.
And it's very
it's really hard thing. It's not happening. Like you gotta, if you want to do it, you just gotta
push. Just gotta push myself, man. That's all.
Well, really, it's an easy push, dude. You wake up tomorrow, and you go, I'm gonna do this, and then just stick with it. That's
And then
it's the hardest part.
If you're finding that's troublesome, you can like think about how you've managed to reconcile the degree of violence attached to what you're consuming.
Very true.
See if you're cool with that.
Yeah, I mean, there's different ways of looking at it. You know, you just got to pick what you want to do, man.
I know, man. It's just like I said. I want to push myself and try things and do this, but it's. I don't know, man. I just have that. Honestly, I think it's just a weird like stigma in my head. I don't know what the deal is.
It is.
I've been
battling
eating. Yeah.
The only in your way is you.
Exactly.
It's easier than you think.
So stop it.
And you'll feel better.
That's my whole thing is like I'm getting older. I need to start feeling better about myself. You know,
that big tumor between your shoulders will shrink.
That's my head.
The animals will be stoked on you.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
I mean,
they'll start talking to you.
I'm already a veterinary technician, man. I already know, the cruelty and shit that goes on with the animals, and that's another reason I'm thinking of these things. You know.
Yeah, good way of going about it, man.
It's like I fix the problems that come in quite a lot, So.
But anyway, man, this is a really interesting show. I've really dug it, and I'm looking forward to your fall release of the new album.
I am too. I really am.
Thanks, guys. I'm looking forward to it also.
Well, again, Russ, man, thank you again for coming on the show, man. We really appreciate you taking the time, and I also, again, want to say thank you for understanding with all the bullshit that happened with us trying to get you on the show, Yeah.
It's no worries. Glad it worked out.
Yeah, me too. And as always, you're always welcome back on the show anytime you want, especially if you want to come on and push your solo album you're more than welcome to come on, dude.
Thanks.
But anyway, all right, guys. I was your host, Wayne.
I'm Rum.
And as always, remember to keep it metal!
Adieu, parting is such sweet sorrow.
Go ahead and run. Run home and cry to mama. Get the fuck out. Okay then. That's it.